Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life, and this is my dressing gown, and these are my gym jams. Because I haven't got dressed yet today. Oh, and I'm loving it and I'm hating it all at the same time. I feel like I deserve this time out, but I'm also very uncomfortable not doing anything right now because that's not been my experience for the past few weeks. Anyway, I wanted to just make a really quick video because I don't have a lot to say about it, other than maybe what I've already said previously, which perhaps I'll repeat. So it's been really interesting to watch my mum for the past few weeks while I've been out there working. I mean, I'll be honest, she's been kind of like instrumental in ensuring that the house continues to run, that my kids are fed, that things are working. Like, I'm actually really, really super grateful. And I think, fucking hell, like, I don't know how I would do this job if I was also a single parent, as I've been for most of my life. This would just be impossible, actually. It wouldn't be possible. And I think, fuck, I'm not sure how I'm going to manage things when I move out, because the kids still really want that. As much as my mum's been helpful on a practical basis, she's still completely emotionally inept and completely detached from everybody around her, and very cruel in the way that she talks to the kids, and they're kind of like, nah, we need to get out of here, can't be dealing with that. But anyway, aside from that, she has been really helpful. And I think it's really interesting to watch my mum, because the more that I spend time with her and the more that I watch her, the less that I think that she's narcissistic, which is what I thought when I was younger. I think she definitely has narcissistic tendencies, in the way that she treats the people around her, in the way that she manipulates things, in the way that she recalls things in her own mind, in the way that she defends her, like, really heinous actions, things that she did when we were younger, like, selling our house while we were gone for the week. Can't talk to her about that. She'll literally physically attack you. She's done it before. But the more that I watch her now, the more that I'm actually thinking, I think, Mummy, that you might actually have some undiagnosed autism. It makes more sense. She's so rigid in her thinking. Like, everything has to go specifically in a specific place. It has to be cleaned in a specific way. It has to be picked up in a specific way. It has to be like, and it's like she's so attached to inanimate objects, right? So she's so attached to her things, to these things that she's bought, and she has more of a relationship with these things than she does with the actual people that are around her. And not just that, like, her thinking has always been really black and white. So it's like, this is true and this is not true. This is right and this is wrong, Aww, look at the cat. That's another thing that my mum's attached to. Like, she projects a lot of her thoughts and her feelings onto the cat. She talks to the cat directly. And she, what's the word? She interprets what the cat is feeling. And what the cat is feeling is always very, very positive towards her and very negative towards other people. It's funny to watch. But yeah, so she's got this relationship with inanimate objects. She's very black and white in her thinking. She's very rigid about routine. And she has, like, zero empathy. And she's very detached, like, from human beings, from, like, needing that sense of connection with other people. And she's very, like, clear on what she places value on, right? So the reason why she's been so much more helpful, and the reason why she's been really instrumental in helping me while I'm in this job is because she values that. And I know that that's like a really old school thing, right? That's a very conventional thing. My mum thinks that you've made it in life if, you've got some kind of qualification, you have a well-paying job, you have a happy marriage, you have a house that you've bought, you have 2 kids that are polite and well-mannered and wash their hands when they come in the house. And you've just got that really kind of conventionality in your life, right? Because for her, that's stability. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I think it's also about like her rigid views. And I also think it's about her age and it's about her generation. It's about the era that she grew up in and whatever else. But then in saying that, like, my mum did grow up throughout the 60s, the 70s and the 80s. So I don't know why she's quite so conventional. But I think there's something about safety and security in that kind of like real black and white picture that my mum likes. And I am anything but conventional. I'm very unconventional. And if anything, I'm very contrary. And I think I've grown to be very contrary because of how conventional my mum is and because of how much value she places on that. And I think that's why I don't really place my value on that. And in fact, I couldn't think of anything worse than being in the same job for like 30 years and living in the same house and, looking at the same kids, polite, well-mannered kids. Ugh, I couldn't think of anything worse. And I think that's why we clash a lot of the time, and I think that's why she finds it really difficult to live with me. Because I'm always purposely being contrary to this conventional life that she feels is best. And I was talking to her the other day. So remember, she's like holding down the fort, right, for me at home. I'm not doing everything. Like I still have to make sure that the clothes are washed and, Callum's in bed and like I still have to do all of that stuff. She's basically doing like some of the cooking when Josh doesn't cook, and she's making sure there's food in the house. That's basically it. But those things are massive. They are massive. And then housework, right? These are massive things. But I was talking to her about these videos the other day, and I said, Mum, I've made like 90 something videos. Like, what an amazing achievement. And she was like, yeah, yeah, it's really good. She just couldn't understand why this feels like a big achievement to me. But if I say to her, hey, Mum, wrote 10 emails this morning and, that report that I had that had to be done in 4 days, did it. She's like, wow, Fran, that's so amazing. Like, you really should be proud of yourself. Do you want a cup of tea? And I see now, like, what it is that my mum wants from me. Like, she wants to feel proud of me. She does. And she wants to give me things. And she wants to be there for me. And she wants to do that sort of stuff for me. But she cannot do it unless I'm achieving in a very specific way, in a way that feels like achievement to her. There's no flexibility in her mind that allows her to think, well, what I believe to be achievement is an achievement. And actually, Frank could achieve over here and she could do really, really well, So let's support her to try and make that happen. She doesn't know how to do that because she's really rigid in the way that she sees things. And the funny thing is like, as much as I've realized like what it is that she wants from me, I've realized that I'm never really going to be able to give that to her. And I kind of have no intention of doing it anyway. And I kind of feel like it's not really my responsibility to have to do that, right? That I have to be my own person. I've got to live my own life, right? Nobody can't tell me what to do. It's all of that shit, right? And all of that is perfectly reasonable. All of that is perfectly rational. It's completely understandable. It's justifiable for me to feel this way. But talking to her about the videos the other day, I kind of realized like, wow, I'm still seeking your approval. I'm still seeking for you to accept me as I am. I'm still seeking for you to give me something that I need. And the truth is that she's never, ever, ever going to give it to me, because she's seeking for me to give her something that I can't ever give her. And it's like, I mean, the frustration of that is, I don't know, it's a lot. It's sad, man. It's really sad. But I guess also for me, talking about it now, it's given me some like greater context to understanding that I'm not the only one who is being shortchanged here. I'm not the only one who is not having their needs met. I'm not the only one who is imprisoned and not able to care for or love this person who I'm technically supposed to have a relationship with. I'm supposed to have an attachment to. Like, I'm not the only one that's seeking and failing to find, and I'm also not the only one that's failing to give, you know? That we're both doing this one another because we're both two very, very, very different people. And that I have essentially made a choice, conscious or not, to be contrary to my mum, to be oppositional to her, to not value the things that she values. So it's kind of like, I know that, because I was thinking the same thing when I was just saying it, you know, that this is an equal thing, that we're equally hurting one another, and we're equally seeking from one another, and we're equally failing one another. And I heard myself say, yeah, but the difference is that she's your mum. She has a title that means that she should love you no matter what. She should provide for you no matter what. She should give you no matter what, right? And I guess to some extent that's true. And maybe that's ultimately what I'm like searching for, that kind of unconditional, I'm going to still not just praise, because it's not about that. It's about like those deep, like carnal needs being met, you know, those base needs being met. Like, are you going to look after me? Are you going to keep me safe if I'm not becoming the person or doing the thing that you want me to do? Like, so maybe it's not so much about approval. But the thing that I was thinking about when that thought came into my head, like, yeah, but she's your mum. It made me think, yeah, but at the same time, I'm the one that chose. I'm the one that chose, conscious or not. I chose to fracture the attachment by choosing to be something completely different to anything that she could ever find it in her heart to love. So whose responsibility really is it that things are like this? And I guess the answer to that question is like both of us and none of us, right? I'm a product of my environment. Being like her felt. Being like my mom felt. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I think I watched her as a person and was just like, you don't seem to have like any love inside of you. Like, you don't seem to be able to love people. So therefore it must be because of the way that you engage with life, rather than it being about, well, actually, I think you've got a developmental disorder. You're neurodiverse. And that's why you're living in your own world. You're not living in this world. Like, I have to come and meet you in that world. I can't come and expect you to come out here and meet me. But as a child, obviously, you don't know that, right? What's my fucking point? What's my point? I don't know that there is one, really, other than just that observation of understanding what it is that my mum's seeking from me, understanding what it is that I've been seeking from her my whole life, and understanding that neither of those things are going to be fulfilled because we're seeking something that the other person isn't able to give because of who they are. So I guess all I can do really is like try to make my mum proud in the areas that I know that she finds pride in because she wants to feel proud of me, and that's a gift that I can give to her, you know? Yeah. And accept that she's never going to feel proud of me in the areas that I feel proud of myself. And that's okay because I feel proud of myself. So, like, there's no need to seek it externally, I guess. Yeah, okay. Something that I'm grateful for off the back of that. Yeah, I'm just really grateful that my mum is helping. Like, I always wanted my mum to help me. I always wanted her to kind of be there and support me. And I always hated that it was conditional. But at the same time, like, if I can just be grateful for what is rather than what I wish could have been, because it's still conditional. Her help and her support is still conditional. If I stopped working tomorrow, then, I mean, I wouldn't need it, but she would not even want to give anything to me. She wouldn't. So yeah, even though it's conditional, accepting that it always will be conditional, and that's okay, and that actually, if what I want is help from my mum, then I'm getting it. I'm actually getting what I want. Maybe not in the way that I want it, maybe not to the extent, maybe not in all areas, but it's not reality. So yeah, just grateful either way. Okay, that's it.